Media Mogul and the legend agent to the biggest names in international cricket. This is Basia TV Podcast with Basia Powell. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organizations or entities. The content shared is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute legal, financial, medical, or any other form of professional advice. This episode is brought to you by 124 Nut Out Sports Agency. Welcome to the next level.
Hey guys, it's your girl Basia. Welcome to Basia TV Podcast with Just Basia. No guest. Today we're talking about a topic that always stirs some debate. Why do men cheat? Well, before I give you my 2 cents, let's get into the start. Why men cheat? So, according to American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, they said 44% of men said that they cheated because they want variety and excitement in their sex lives. Another source says this is Archives of Sexual Behavior. This aligns with evolutionary psychology findings that men are more likely to cheat. You hear that? Due to novelty seeking. Opportunity also plays a big role. Men are more likely to cheat when the opportunity arises, especially in contexts where they travel often, have disposable income, or work in high profile, high risk professions. And I think it's high profile too. Athletes, executives, entertainers are some of the people that they have identified. Research shows that men in high status roles have higher infidelity rates, largely because of increased income, opportunity, and access. Okay. My take, this may sound a little provocative to some. I believe that men cheat because some women let them. Yes, I said it. Mhm. And now that I can see the horror on some of your faces, but hear me out. Now, let me just say I have only experienced heterosexual relationships. So I'm speaking within the context of heterosexual relationships involving a man and a woman. Sometimes that can get a little tricky too, and we'll get into that later. So, in a heterosexual relationship, if you meet a guy for the first time and you fall madly in love, I'm assuming that you are going to use the free and largely public private investigation platform called social media. Because if you meet somebody, you have to do your research. You can't just take their word for it. You meet a guy and you say, "Are you married?" He said, some men would say, "Not anymore." My producer was telling me something yesterday about a guy she knew one time that eventually was married, but he shared with that person that he was no longer married in his head. You see how these guys are tricky? All right. So you have to ask the right question. You see a man on social media going that you are dating, he's all over the world. He's in Singapore, Australia, Maldives, and this guy is the only person in that picture. You need to ask yourself who is taking the picture, who is behind the camera, a man or a woman. So a lot of times we meet people and we don't ask men in particular as women, and we don't ask the right questions. So sometimes a man needs you to ask him the question another way for you to get the right answer. So why do I hold women accountable in parts? There are two reasons for this. And let me tell you, some women choose to believe lies. You know that. Some women choose to believe lies. Too often, I meet a woman and she's telling me that, she's dating a guy. And I'm like, did you ask him this? Did you ask him that? And she's like, no, he said so and so. And you've only known this man for 5 minutes, but they're so desperate for a cuddle. Even if they're getting cuddled on a Monday night only, then ask yourself, where is he Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Oh, he's traveling on business. I see. Okay, so women, some of you all accept too much excuses for men. Hold them accountable. Then you have women who say, well, he was married, but, he said they finished and he's only go there because of the children. What you want him to do? The man has children and he's a good father. I can't begin to tell you how many girlfriends I have who got rid of their men and they're still trying to get them back using the children. Yeah. So if you meet a guy and he's still trying to make you feel that the reason he's going over there a lot is because of his children, well, I'm going to leave you to believe that. And here's another popular one. Or he hasn't moved out yet because he's looking for an apartment, or the lawyer told him that he shouldn't leave because, if he leaves, he's not going to get the house. So he's staying in the basement. Yeah, well, what the saying says, old fire sticks hard to catch. As women, we make too many excuses for our men. That's the second reason. So let's put the romantic relationships aside. As mothers, as wives, as grandmothers, as aunties, we make so much excuses for our sons, for our brothers, for our husbands. We have enabled these men instead of confronting them. I have found, as a mother of full disclosure, of sons, right? Only. It's very easy for boys to tell lies. And I have decided from very early in their lives that, listen, I am not going to encourage you to tell lies, and lies for no reason. So as a mother, once I'm accepting these things and I'm letting you embellish or fantasize, whatever you choose to call it, it's a lie. I am developing you into that liar for that partner that you are going to meet later on. So I believe that as mothers, as aunties, and so on, as soon as you see those lies coming out of those buggers, you need to nip that in the bud. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. So guys, let's talk about those wives. There are 4 types of wives, and we're going to talk about them after this break. We'll be right back. So let's talk about these wives. But before we get into the 4 types of wives, of the cheaters, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to this podcast. If you're enjoying this content and you want to have more of it, please subscribe to Basia TV Podcast. All right. So let's talk about the 4 types of wives of these cheaters. Number 1, the idealist. This type of wife, Lord help her, she believes that her husband will never cheat on her. The Lulu. Okay. Now, she doesn't actually say it out loud, but she believes it with all her heart. Ma'am, newsflash. All men are capable of cheating, particularly when they believe that their wives will never find out. Opportunity that source at the top spoke about. Don't ever swear for a man unless he's lying down in a casket, because that's the only time Lazarus is dead. You know who Lazarus is, okay? He's an evil man. Number 2, the second type of wife. This one lives in La La Land. She's the denier. She actually says it out loud. My husband will never cheat on me. Okay, girl. And she already knows that he is cheating because he is a cheater, right? This type of woman knows exactly where the other woman is living, or the other man. Yeah, I said it because, And guess what? Her husband also knows that she knows, and she's pretending that she doesn't know. And he's going to keep doing it because she already accepts his behavior. You know, for women going through this right now, for women, I should say, for women living in La La Land, where do you think your husband is 2 a.m. in the morning, Monday to Friday at a meeting? I thought so. And don't get me wrong, for those of you like myself trying to figure out, well, he home every night by 8 or 7. A man don't have to cheat on you at 2 a.m. He can do it at 8 a.m., 12 p.m. This is what it takes. If a man is a cheater, he's a cheater. He will cheat at midday. Number 3, the tolerance. This type of wife finds out and she stays. She was raised this way. You know, once he has done it more than once, you are in a relationship with a career cheater. And by staying, you're signing up for the cheatery, if such a word exists. For me, it does. In these scenarios, this man, this husband, already work out that you are codependent financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. So he knows you won't leave him. And that's a tricky situation. Number 4, the independent. I like these. This type of wife, she's a boss. As the Gen Zs like to call her, she's a bad bitch. These wives are fiercely independent. Financially, emotionally, mentally. And she may stay with you after you've cheated on her one time. And there may be 2 reasons why she would stay with you after you've cheated on her one time. She might stay because of the children and say, you know what, he's a good guy, I'm not going to mash up my family. Or she might stay because she cheated on you too. And she would say like, yo, we even. Let me take one for the let me take one for the team, right? But don't get it twisted. She's not staying because she needs you like that. She's staying because she's giving you a chance to redeem yourself and she doesn't want to mess up her family. Now, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Either way, she's going to give you a chance. She might even go to therapy, but she doesn't need you to pay her bills. She doesn't need you to do shit. She just needs you to behave yourself. And there you have it. Now, ask yourself, which one of these wives are you? We're going to pay some bills and we'll be right back.
This segment is brought to you by Ricardo Powell Cricket Academy, based in Tampa and Naples, Florida.
Welcome back, guys. You're watching and listening to the Basia TV Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, and we want to hear from you. Don't forget to, go to our YouTube channel and talk to us in our community, posting and so on. We want to hear from you. So before I went to break, I described 4 types of women, 4 types of wives, because they can be common law or legally married, who live with cheaters or who are married to cheaters. And earlier, I also told you that I believe that women are largely responsible for men cheating in heterosexual relationships. Because if women were to close their legs to married men who are taken, or men who are taken, men would have no one to cheat with. Unless, of course, he's bisexual. And they do exist. So, guys, I'm a woman of a particular age. I know you can't tell. But I have witnessed a lot of cheating in my life. In fact, I have also been cheated on in previous relationships. Unlike many of you, I will never say my husband has not cheated on me or will not cheat on me. Because, as I said earlier, Lazarus is very much alive. So anything is possible. I can't help but to blame women in most instances for men cheating based on what I have seen. I'm a sports agent. I'm married to a professional athlete. I have seen a lot. I won't say on this platform what I have seen. You'll have to subscribe for that. I'm just kidding. But all I can say is that many of these athletes, the ones who are married, it's public knowledge that they're married. So if you decide that you're going to fly all the way across the world for a man who is married, then it's your fault because you know that that man is not yours. He belongs to somebody else. And I just want to be very clear. I'm not speaking about the athletes I manage now. So, ladies, I want to add another category who I did not address in my 4 types of wives because they're not wives. If you have a child for a man who is not married to you and you're not living together, he's not yours. He is what I like to call, or I should say, what we like to call in the Caribbean, your child father. Black Americans call that your baby daddy. He's not yours. So these women don't fall into any of these categories that I listed above. So what's the solution? Before I answer that, my question to you is, should a wife leave her husband the first time he cheats? My view, not necessarily. If she's married to a good man, good provider, great father, you may genuinely want to try, go to therapy, because this guy probably really made a mistake, lapse in judgment, not making excuses for these men. Ugh. But you just can't walk. This is what I'm trying to say. Marriage is challenging, and there's a real shortage of good men out there, ladies. So you can't just give up because you've experienced such a challenge on the first attempt. It may be worth exploring therapy and getting to the root of the problem, one that can result in successful reconciliation. Don't break up your family over no, as the Jamaicans like to say, over no careless girl or one night stand. It's worth trying to address the problem in the first instance. But personally, for me, I will find it hard to forgive and forget an affair. I will go to therapy for my children's sake, but I'm one of those women. We call infidelity in Trinidad and Tobago, where I was born, a horn. You ever see a horn? It comes out in your head like this. When a man cheats on you, in Trinidad, we say you get a horn. I'm not built to take horn, friend. I cannot take horn. So for me, if it is my partner were to give me a horn, the internet will shut down. Real talk. But that's just me. All right. So, however, should a woman, my next question to you, should a woman forgive her man after he cheated on her a second time and a third time? Nah. I will leave him. Girl, leave that man. He is a cheater. Don't say Basia tell you to leave. You do you. But don't expect him to change his behavior after you have accepted it. You see, here's why I will leave. If you cheat on me once and I give you a chance and you do it again, you really don't like me. At this point, you like cheating more than me. So my life is too valuable to waste time on a cheater. I don't know about you. Ladies, leaving a cheater is an act of self-respect. Real talk. And some women wait until they're in their 50s and their 60s to finally leave a cheater. Leave when you're in your prime. It don't mean that you want somebody else, but you want your self-respect. Leave when you're in your prime, not after he burn you out. Because, I'm one person. I believe that God never takes anything from me without giving me better. Why am I going to leave at 60? After you burn me out? No. At the end of the day, As women, we must know our worth. Once a man has shown himself to be a cheater, he will always be a cheater. I am not about to negotiate my value with a cheater because once Lazarus is working, the cheater will continue cheating. Okay, I have said enough on this topic. If you enjoyed today's episode, have a look at the episode after this one entitled The Silent Killer of Growth, Negative Energy. That's a good one, guys. It's your girl, Basia. Stay tuned for more Just Basia episodes every Monday on the Basia TV Podcast. And always remember, your location determines your value. So be careful who you place yourself with and where you place yourself. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. I'm outside. Cheers. Basia TV Podcast was created by Basia Alicia Powell, hosted by Basia Alicia Powell, executive producer Basia Alicia Powell, producers Delicia Winnell, Alicia Bazin, creative Basia TV Productions LLC Carver Consulting, music, all rights reserved to Basia Alicia Powell and Ricardo Powell. Editors Basia Alicia Powell, Delicia Winnell. Visual effects Basia TV Productions LLC and RJ Powell. Music composer Basia TV Productions, all rights reserved. Guest bookings Carver Consulting, legal consultant Alicia Bazin. Special thanks to all our guests.